Welcome to today's webinar about the Canadian anti-spam legislation. I'm not quite sure if everything is okay with this webinar, so it seemed to have a bit of technical difficulties. I'll be back with you as soon as I can. There are a few attendees showing now. Just give me one more minute and then we'll get going here. Welcome to the webinar. As you can see, you have on the on that side, you have a chat box that I'm opening up right now, and that's for your questions. Any of you that haven't seen it, of course, the Canadian anti-spam legislation is a hot topic these days, and will be increasingly so. We don't hear too much about it yet, but I'm sure that once June hits, there will be a lot more talk about this. Just a disclaimer right away, I am not a lawyer. I don't have any legal training. I have done extensive research about the topic, especially concerning what it means to LinkedIn, for example. And we'll get into the changes later on, why that is important. I just published a blog post on the weekend about this on my blog, businessbluebird.com. You can find it there. You can also see it in the email you will be receiving after the webinar. In that email, you will also get the link to the preview, to the recording, just in case there are things you've missed here. And of course, you can always tweet me or Facebook me. So let's get into this right away. If there's any questions, I will get to your questions after the presentation. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see the questions. Just one check after that. Yes, this webinar will be recorded, and I will also do another one in June for if you like this one and you have colleagues that you would like to show. The advantage to doing a webinar or to attending a webinar live is that you can ask questions right away, and I will get to them in the questions and answer periods. So let me get my presentation going and share it with you. Okay, here is my presentation. I hope you can see it all okay. I'm just checking here. Yep, it looks good. And I'm just going to trust that it works. I have to thank my friend and colleague Brandon from Constant Contact for the main part of this presentation. Rather than replicating what he said, I'm actually stealing, within his consent, stealing his presentation and giving it today to you. My name is Fritjof Petscheleit. If you are afraid of pronouncing that, you think about you turn the fridge off and say it quickly. It's Fritjof. And I am the authorized local expert for Constant Contact in the Okanagan. That means that I'm a solution provider that also does education. My main focus, the main focus of my business is business consulting for digital media. I build websites and I teach people how to use them. I build Facebook and Twitter and email marketing lists for people, and then I teach them how to use them effectively, mainly for building healthy relationships. So let's dive right into this, and there's a lot of terms that we have to tackle. We're all here to talk about list building and legislation. That's a hard word for me to say. But we're also here to talk about the importance of relationships. Because those names in your databases aren't just names. They're customers, prospects, donors, members, or supporters, clients, however you want to call them. They are the people that help you make your business or your organization what it is. And I can't stress this enough. People want to buy from people and not from brands, and people don't want to be pushed around anymore and shown. We need to build relationships. Because of this, we're not just going to talk about growing your list as a simple set of tasks or tools, but we're going to talk about how you created the opportunity to add a name to your list, how that opportunity represents a commitment on your part, and how you then have to engage with your audience and deliver on the commitment. After we've talked about this, why it is important to grow your contact lists, and why we talk about how to go about collecting names and some great tools. So it's a really hands-on session. And then we're going to quickly review some of the common questions that we get about CASL. CASL stands for Canadian Anti-Spam Legislation. And as much as I hate acronyms, it's a long title to say. So I will use the word CASL going forward. So let's start with a summary of CASL. The Canada's anti-spam legislation is about the rules for sending CEMs, another acronym. It's commercial electronic messages, and this is really one of the biggest changes, because now these rules apply not only to emails, and we all know and hate our spam emails, and we have more or less efficient filters for them, but it also applies to any marketing, be it Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, any updates where we have to get permission to send those. And it's very important to do this. I do expect that there will be a time period where there's going to be a lot of legal battles to define these. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm looking forward to the feedback of lawyers. I'm just looking at this. Your chat pop-up is covering your presentation. Okay. Hopefully I can change this sticky. Okay. I hope that this will work. Hopefully, maybe you can adjust your screen. So the one terminology that I see is, or that we have to look at is the consent. So we now need consent from our contacts to send them marketing messages. And there's two kinds. One is express consent. Basically, in my words, that means that you have to, they have to say yes, I do want to receive your updates. And by the way, this is something that we have been teaching for years as best practices anyway for email lists. So they need to confirm either electronically or in writing. And I'm not quite sure how, if they verbally verbally agree, I'm not quite sure how you would obtain the documentation. They have to give you permission to send you electronic messages. And you have to make sure that you clearly describe what they will get, indicate who is requesting the permission, and indicate that the recipient can unsubscribe. And what a lot of sign-up forms have a pre-check box, and I'll show you example later, and that is not express consent. That is tricking people. So what does implied mean? So the CASL legislation also makes a concession for implied consent. There are a few things that are considerations for implied consent, as indicated on the screen here. You have to be in a pre-existing relationship, or the contact has to have published or given their address. So if somebody sends you their email address and says, please send me updates, then oh, now I see what you mean. I'm sorry. So yeah, so the contact has to have given their address and consent, and but implied consent has a time limit. It's 2 years, and that's the worst kind of permission, because you still have to go after them to make sure that that you get express permission from them. So that's really not a good way to do this. But so far, if you're operating on a list that you've created without express permission, that's probably the only way to go. So time limit 2 years. There are a few questions that come up right away. Why should I care? You might be thinking, why should I care? It seems like this is too difficult, and is the government really going to come after me as a small business owners? You should be aware that the legislation comes with some teeth. If you get caught not complying, you can open your organization up to fines of up to 10 million per infraction. So get permission. Now let me reassure you a bit. As long as you can prove that you tried to comply, then the draft legislation says that it will be considered. So it means you need to get permission and then track where and what type you got. And if you're using a professional email list tool like Constant Contact, that permission documentation is built right in, as long as people sign up, and I'll show you what you need to set later on. So make sure that everybody that is opting in to get messages. So, for example, if you offer a free download, you need to make sure that people know when they give their email address to get that download, they're also going to be added to your email list. Secondly, when you send emails out, there are a few things that you need to do to make sure you're CASL compliant. Include an option for people to get off your list. Include a permission reminder. Clearly indicate who is sending the message. So if you're sending emails or messages for somebody else, it has to be clear who that is for. So unsubscribed options, of course, in email newsletters are always there. I would think in social media channels you can always unfollow somebody, but we'll have to see how that is implemented. So we might have to find a way of getting express consent if we don't have that already. So we have 3 years to renew that that period. A note for nonprofits, and I heard we had a question in a Facebook group last night. Nonprofits and government bodies have to comply to CASL. So it doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit, a charity, or a business. A commercial message refers to activities of a commercial nature. So if you're asking for support, if you're asking for donations or for memberships, any of that is a commercial message. So yes, as a nonprofit, you do have to comply with CASL. So this is an example of an email sign-up form that is okay. So it's clearly stated that that you will be added to the mailing list if you agree, and you see that the checkbox is not pre-checked. Same thing here. If you have an offer and people have to put in their email address and are expressly informed that they are signing up to your list, it's okay. What is not okay is this pre-checked box that you see here. I don't know how firm you are, how informed you are about setting up these forms, but in a web form there's usually an option of pre-checking that box or not. If you have a form where that is pre-checked, please remove that pre-check and in order to conform with CASL. So who is going to enforce this now? There are 3 government offices, and this is a federal law in Canada. The CRTC is one of the leads on this, and unfortunately their website was on the weekend, so I'm not really able to tell you too much about that. But the CRTC will be enforcing those laws and handling complaints. The Competition Bureau, same thing, and the Office of the Privacy Commissioner. And again, I don't really have a legal background, so you might want to check with your legal department or with your lawyer about this. So how can we make sure that our email list conforms with CASL? And I must say that I'm coming to this all the time. These are best practices that we've been teaching people for a long time. Basically, the message is don't trick people into your email list. So make sure that you click in your settings in your constant contact, enable advanced email permissions. And that basically means that people have, it's what we call double opt-in in web developer speak. That basically means that if somebody signs up to a mailing list, they will get an automatic email saying, thanks for signing up to our email list, please confirm your signature by clicking this link. That has a double function. One is that then the spam filter will not filter out the message. The other one is, the other effect is that you conform with the rules, with the CASL rules. Just for practicality reasons, monitor in your dashboard who you're still waiting for the permission to. And then if you have people that haven't responded in a couple of days, maybe contact them again by email or phone and ask them to check their spam filter. It sometimes happens. So again, make sure that you're enabling your account for confirmed opt-in. It's pretty hard to remove the option of unsubscribing. Make sure that you're making every one of your emails has a link in the footer that says unsubscribe right here. So that's really important. Now, some of you are probably sitting here with a growing negative feeling in the bottom of your stomach as you face some of the facts of this legislation. I want to reassure you, there's really one main message that as an online marketer you need to focus on. What this legislation is enforcing is what successful online marketers have always known. If you market to people who want to hear from you, you will be more successful. So don't let this legislation scare you. The best practices of marketing have not changed. Other ideas. Start with a personal story. So like, be personal in your emails. Don't spam people only with offers. There needs to be value in that email. Otherwise, people will not even open your emails anymore. So offer people a reason why they should open your email. And there are two quotes that are really important for this. One is by Seth Godin, one of the gurus of online marketing. And real permission works like this. If you stop showing up, people complain. They ask where you went. So if you suddenly stop sending regular content and people were wondering where you are, you notice that you've been missed. And it's really all about customer experience. Like Gail Goodman says, when you create a great customer experience, you make it easier for customers to be receptive to doing business with you again, to remain in touch with you, and to sharing their experiences with their networks. Today, it's much more important to keep customers so that you don't have to acquire new ones all the time. So that's how this engagement process is working. Oops. What's this list for? It's about engaging. The fact is that building and growing a list is really about finding ways to engage your customers in order to help grow your business by repeat business and by connecting with new customers. Take a step back and think about what drives any business in any industry. Regardless of the model, the product, the service, or the format, the results of any enterprise are dependent on the people, servers, or influencers. Customers, trade contacts, partners, distributors, suppliers, manufacturers, media contacts, prospects, salespeople, and affiliates, and the list goes on. That's what business is, people. The businesses that make it are simply the ones that have the most effective way of communicating and influencing people. That's really what the basis of everything. It's not about traffic or offers or rankings or really anything. Those are just means to an end. It's about influencing people, about building relationships, and keeping your customers happy. Today, it's easier than ever to see what kind of influence we are having. It's easy to see what people are saying about us, and we can do what we need to encourage positive things to be said about that. If you have attended one of our engagement marketing sessions, then you have probably seen our engagement cycle diagram. And in case you haven't, here it is. You will see that the diagram has two sides. The right side, the beige arrows, show how you interact with existing customers. The left side is prospects. That's the blue arrows. So it's pretty easy to say to see how this cycle works. And it is always a cycle, meaning that we're never finished. We always have to stay in touch, create wow experiences in order to find new customers and repeat customers. I'm just going to have a quick look here if there are more questions. And I'm not going to hide the slide again. Not right now. So you're always welcome to add more questions as we go along. So that's let's look at a few points closer. They entice people to stay in touch. Really, what a lot of especially small businesses don't really get is that they have to create value all the time. You have to keep people engaged, and we're talking about a conversation. Email marketing and other social media marketing is always about engaging people and getting responses back. That's really important to get people to engage with you. A successful Facebook page is not the one that has the most likes, it's the one that has the most interactions and where people feel like they're being heard. Same thing with an email list. Open rates and all of that is pretty standard measurements, but how many people actually respond to your email? How many on your email list ask you a question after you send them that mailing? This is also something important out of that strategy. It's not about hope that something is working. You have to ask. You have to ask if people are happy with what you're offering, and that's very important. So you have to make sure that you are finding the right point. And with digital communication, there's always the ability to measure how many people are reacting. Like I put out this webinar, for example, and I didn't do much to promote it, and suddenly there were over 30 signups without me doing anything. So it is working. This is a hot topic, and I hope you are finding a lot of value in this. And I hope that you ask me questions. Today, people are used to being asked. It happens all the time. All the big guys are doing it. As a result, people are doing two things. More willing to connect when they've had great experiences, as well as more picky about what and whom they choose to connect. When you created a connection through a great experience, either online or offline, they're willing, when you haven't, and they're willing to stay in touch, and if you haven't, they are not. So the point of wow experience isn't to get them talking about you, which is nice to have. It's to create a connection that entices them to stay in touch. To further entice them, you need to think carefully about what you're going to offer them for staying in touch. Generally, people think of discounts, notices about sales, etc. But go beyond that, however, and think about what you would be of value to your customer or to someone who shares an interest in what you do. So it's not always that we have to buy our audience. We have to make sure that they find value. Otherwise, why should they spend their valuable time? So here are some examples of how to do that and how to connect your email list with your announcements. So this is one that you can also post to Facebook. It's a newsletter that you can spread, so you stay in touch with people. You can send out information about event registration. This is events are a great way of getting in touch with people, providing value to people. In events about topics that you're interested in, and if it doesn't take too much to set up a webinar software to offer this online. but you might want to do an evening or something like that, even in your store, to tell people about what you're all about. Try it. It's going to be interesting. And if you invite people by email, then you can track how it actually works. If events are also a great way of getting people to sign up to your list, and we'll get to how to do that a little bit later. Offers and promotions, of course, always work. A lot of Facebook apps are what we call like gated, meaning that people will have to click like before they enter your Facebook page. But make sure that you tell them under CASL that by hitting like, they actually sign up to your news stream. Everybody should know that, but might as well better safe than sorry. Feedbacks and surveys at your events or after this are helpful. And choosing your words carefully. This is kind of general marketing rules that are fairly self-explanatory. Try to make sure that I don't subscribe to the view that all social media activities should be sugar-coated. This is definitely the time to be honest and to be genuine and authentic, but stay away from anything that is not makes people uncomfortable. It's really common sense. It's really like in the other real life. So here are some things you can do right away that will make a direct impact on your business. And in turn make an impact on contributes to building your list. So make sure that you clearly define what you offer in exchange for an email address. Maybe try to not call it newsletter, because people are used to hating newsletters. Call it stay in touch or something like that. And practice your pitch. Train your staff on the pitch. And make the pitch. Please sign up to my email list to get updates. And then deliver what you say you will. I'm not really good at that, but I vow to be better at that. So sign up to my email list. You will get a link in the email that I'm sending after this webinar. And survey your audiences. The social media is a two-way street, and email is as well. So put in a survey. Ask your audience what they would like. Ask your audience if you're totally beside the point, or what of your content they would like to see more of. So let me check again if there's any questions at this point. Not right now, thanks. That's really cool. I'm gonna hide the questions again. So let's look at how we can grow our contacts. What's the actual collection under CASL, and what you can do today. And you can really build your list wherever you connect with people. You just remember your mailing list or your whatever tool you want to use as your main tool to engage people. Try to listen to your audience, like to the people you talk to, and see where they would like to connect with you. If you have a voicemail, or tell people in a call to sign up to your mailing list. If you are at events and meetings, make sure that you collect business cards and you ask people if they would like to be on your mailing list, and make sure that you kind of mark that business card maybe with a check mark, so that that you know that these people have given oral express consent about this. And in your email signature, a sign-up link in your email signature is a great way of sending out that link to all of those emails that you send every day. So this is a really cool thing. And if you have an event or if you're in a store, have the good old guest book. Just make sure that it clearly states by writing your email in here you agree to be on our mailing list and receive our messages. So this actually still works. It's a little bit more work because you have to actually copy it down or have somebody copy it down. In all of your other online presences, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, on your website especially, there should be easy ways to sign up to your email lists. And once you have everything set up correctly, like best practices, you do have express consent, and that's what we all want. Just ask them. So the majority of customers will fill out a card to receive email alerts when asked by a clerk or a local business. So this is also that's very important for your brick and mortar business. So make sure that you post links on your website where people fill out that form very clearly, but make sure that it's not a predetermined checklist. There is also a tool that we offer in Constant Contact is just having a QR code to not going to your website, but directly to your mailing list. If you have a bit of a techie crowd, this might work well. And something that I've seen in networking events that I think is really cool is networking cards, where it's actually in addition to your business card, and it has your links, the links to your mailing list attached. So points of sale, I mean, any store that has a checkout line should have an opportunity for people to sign up to your newest offers or whatever you're offering them. Make sure that you have that in there. Remember events. Oh no, we're getting to that later. Sorry. Share your mailing list link to all of your social networks. And for Constant Contact, we have the contact form for Facebook that works really well. In the new Facebook layout, these apps will move to the left-hand sidebar of your page layout, but they're still there. And remember that fishbowl. Remember, if you're going to an event like a small business expo or a trade show and something, everybody has a box or a fishbowl to collect business cards. And usually they say, win an iPad or enter our draw. Now, after CASL, and everybody really, common sense says that if I put in my card there, I basically give them my address details, and that's why people collect the cards, for the address details. Make sure that you clearly state, as of July 1st, or as of tomorrow actually, that people will, by dropping their card into that fishbowl, they agree to receiving emails or marketing messages. So make sure that they know that, and then you're covered. The fishbowl, like I've heard people say, oh, I can't use a fishbowl anymore. Yes, you can. You just have to be upfront about what happens with those contacts. And that's something you want to do for building trust anyway. There's some more tools to aid in the collection. There's a tool attached to Constant Contact with like an app for Constant Contact. It's a free app where you can scan in your contact forms and get them transcribed. There is another app for doing the same thing, and there's something I love to use, and that's the iCapture app for iPad or Android. Basically, my experience is that in collecting email addresses manually during an event, first of all, creates more work for me because I have to transcribe the email addresses, and it creates errors because I'm not able to read everybody's details correctly. So using the app really prevents that. So all I'm doing is I just pass my tablet around and people type in their details. And again, they get the double opt-in email, and then I have expressed consent. So one word about email lists, and this goes for and really rent or own. Basically, we're all talking about Facebook changes, and everybody's unhappy about social media platforms changing, but really we can't do much about that because it's somebody else's platform. So there are two places for small businesses or any business that we can control the social media tool. And one is our website and our blog, which is for me a social media tool, and the other one is the email lists. So make sure that you pay attention to the lists that you own, and this is a big investment. So make sure that you send valuable information on a regular basis, and if you don't anymore, people will unsubscribe. You will have to work a lot harder to get new subscribers to your list than just keeping the existing ones happy. So topics for your so what interesting ideas have you seen for collecting information? Maybe put some in the comments. But what you can do today is, like, this is your homework. Determine 2 new ways that you can try to collect emails and put it into place and test. And please feel free to email me your suggestions, and then I can share them. Review what you're doing right now. Make sure that your signage and your sign-up sheets are correct. Make sure that if you don't have access to your web sign-up form, make sure that you contact your webmaster today in order to take that checkbox, uncheck that checkbox, or add a clear message that people are going to opt in to your marketing messages. And this is something that is important, and that's why I just got stuck. Review your emails and remind and subscription reminders. And this is something that I still see organizations especially and businesses doing, as they use their regular Outlook to send newsletters, to send marketing messages, and to masses of people sometimes with under great effort. Do not do that, especially under CASL. Your regular emails fall under CASL, and you can be punished by sending out these marketing messages in your regular Outlook email, because there's no unsubscribe option. The only way of people unsubscribing from that list is putting your address in a spam folder or begging you to take them off. So use a professional tool like Constant Contact that has a footer where people can change their email settings with every communication you send out. So let me check if there's more questions right now. Checking in the chat. No questions right now. We're all still here. Hopefully you haven't fallen asleep. So then let's just look at some of the common questions we're getting about CASL and about what to do with them. So, do I have to reconfirm consent that I've been emailing contact for years? If so, what's the best way to do this? And the answer is, if your documentation was not obtained when the email was initially entered in your contact list, then yes, you must reconfirm consent. Documentation can be data collection from you maybe have placed in your point of sale system, a record of email opt-in, or any other written or electronic consent. So you don't need to worry about family, friends, and pre-existing business contacts. as these have been covered under implied consent. Again, with implied consent, it's important in the last 2 years. So our business contacts must have made a purchase within the last 2 years to fall under implied consent. So if you have older ones, then that implication is shaky at best. And I will definitely blog about this question as we go along. I do have a meeting scheduled with a local lawyer that specializes in these things. Question number 2. How does CASL apply to social networking sites such as LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook? The answer is social media communities are considered electronic messaging and therefore subject to the law. This means you have express consent to send commercial messages via social networking channels. When we consider what the definition of express consent is and how to acquire it, it seems unlikely that a like or a follow would be categorized as meeting these specific requirements. So there's probably some changes coming to social media platform as they go. I looked at this for LinkedIn because not only, yes, of course, I can always unfollow or unlike a page. But if you're sending specific messages out, like in InMails or messaging your Facebook friends or something like that, that might qualify as that will qualify as an electronic message. And in my interpretation, that falls under CASL. It's also not a very good practice to send people a marketing message without building a communication channel with them first building the trust. It's also not very effective. I can tell you that I will not buy from you if you're sending me a spam email. Do opt-ins with proper express permission have an expiration date? Clear answer, no. If someone opts in with permission, there's no expiration date for that permission. However, there must be a readily accessible unsubscribe option in every communication you send, so that the recipient can opt out at any time. Unsubscribe requests never expire unless someone resubscribed and must be processed within 10 days of receipt. This 10 days is really something very funny. There are some email tools out there that if you opt out, you're getting an email that, oh yeah, we will process your request within the next 10 days. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the benefit of that would be. If somebody asks, like, every email should have a link in the bottom to unsubscribe, and that unsubscription should be immediate. There's no technical reasons. If your email newsletter provider has that in, change right away. I get really upset, and if I get upset, other people get upset as well. So what can you do? Review your lists, make sure that you all have express consent. If not, then try to think about ways how you can obtain that consent. I am planning to, I'm thinking that sending people an email to please ask them to confirm that they still want to get your emails cleans up your email list, makes sure that people know that you value that they're on your list, and make sure that your email, the language in your email, reflect your CASL requirements. That's not too hard to do. So what can you do? This is all, again, I've just rephrased that. Review your list and review how you collect your lists. Talk to your staff about this and go from there. So getting to your questions in a second, but to do that I have to stop the screen sharing. I have a special offer for you, and you will be getting an email from me after this with the recording of the webinar, and I apologize that in the beginning I was hiding the slides, and that I will not be able to fix that. Constant Contact has a whole suite of tools. They're called Toolbox now, where it goes beyond email marketing. There's an event tool, there is a survey tool, and so on. So have a look. There's a link in the email that I'm sending you. And for anybody that signs up this week to a paid account, I will match your branding, meaning that I will go and create templates for you in Constant Contact that match your website design and have your logo built in. So this is a special offer that is valued about $400. Okay, so oops. Now I'm changing that. Stopping the screen share, and there I am again. Thank you very much, and I'm going to try to get the sidebar back here and see where your questions are at. You're all still here. Thanks for hanging in there. I hope nobody fell asleep. I don't see any question right now. Maybe you can please post your question again if you posted it. I'm not sure if the tool kind of hides them from me. I do have something for you right away, and that is a checklist for you for CASL. So if you click on this Download Now button, you can download a PDF so that helps you make sure that you comply with CASL. And if you can't catch that, I will send that same link in the email you're getting with the webinar recording about an hour from now. It takes a little bit of time to convert. Checking with the tag. Yeah, okay, so there is 2 questions from Chris. Yes, as far as I understand, you have 3 years to get express consent from an implied consent email list. Be careful though, because as we said in the end of the presentation, there is people have to have bought from you in the last 2 years in order to have that business relationship. Let me read your second question. Okay, I'm going to read this question. We are a theater, and we have provided an artist with the contact information from patrons who purchase tickets for the event if the artist signs a privacy agreement. Can we still do this with CASL? Do we have to have a second checkbox in addition? Okay, so again, this is not legal advice. This actually probably, yes, I would say yes. The receive emails from a third party should be in there right now, because if you don't tell people, in my opinion, you're violating their trust. You're violating their privacy. You're not selling the email list, but you're giving it away. You're giving somebody an email list. Your patrons have entrusted you with their personal information, and you're passing it on without telling them. That is definitely against CASL, and you could get into big trouble. I would recommend to stop this, and or if nothing else, put in a link to the artist's mailing list so that anybody interested in updates from the artist can opt into his list. On the flip side, the artist will not have express consent for this, for your list, because your patrons have given consent to your list and not his. I don't know if that answers your question. I hope so. So it's basically it's very much a trust thing. You have to get people to trust you, and I can tell you if and maybe not in your case, but if I notice that somebody gave or sold my email away, I'm never going to go there again because, yeah. Anyway, don't want to beat a dead horse. So the other offer that I can make to you is to sign up or to try Constant Contact as a tool, and there's a free trial that is limited to give you options to play around with it and to try it out and see if you like the platform. And if you click on the local expert button right in the sidebar, you can actually get a free trial. And the reason why I like to use Constant Contact myself is the fact that there's a great support system behind it. If you have questions, there's always somebody in the support department, either by online chat, by phone, or by email available to help you, and they can actually access your account to see that. So let's see if there's somebody else with questions. Doesn't look like it. That's either a good sign or a bad sign. This has been almost an hour. Thank you very much. If you like to sign up to send people give people another opportunity to see one of these presentations, have a look at my website. I'm going to do another webinar in June, taking your questions into account and any questions I'm getting in between. If you like more help, please feel free to email me. It's Frith, F-R-I-T-H, at bluebirdbc.com is my email address. You can also tweet me at bluebirdbc, or ask a question on my Facebook page, which is still facebook.com/tweet4ok. It's my old branding, and I haven't been able to change that yet, but I'm working on it. Thank you very much for coming. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, hearing your feedback from you. And oh, there's another question from how can we stop unauthorized email arriving in our own inbox when there is no unsubscribe option provided? I'm not quite sure what email system you use. I do use Outlook, and I have an attachment on it that is by McAfee that I can report people for spam. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm reporting people for spam that don't have an unsubscribe option, and anybody that does have no unsubscribe option will be punished with this. Like, we all get too much spam, and if you put people in your spam folder, that basically blocks this email address from your spam folder. You can try putting people in like marking that email as junk if you're using Outlook, and then you're not seeing it anymore. If that happens too often, this is digital communication. If an email address gets into the junk too often, people will the email providers will block that email as a spammer, because it's a major financial drawback for their systems to have all the spammers use their systems for real. So junk the email, mark it as spam, and so on. Like, if you're nice, send them an email back with a message saying don't stop don't send me these emails anymore. If they're nice, they're going to take you off their distribution list. Most of the time, with real spam mails that are intended to be spam, I would not answer. Do not confirm that this email address is still live. You're basically making things worse. But if somebody sends you, like often organizations don't want to go through the expense of a professional email list tool, just send them a friendly email saying, please take me off that list. And it's in their own interest to take you off. I hope that answered your question. And feel free to email me if you have more questions about this. Thank you very much. The hour is pretty much up. Thanks for coming. This was very exciting. Hopefully it was not too dry. I hope you got some value out of it. And please send me your feedback and wait for the recording in your email.